Hello everyone, hi. Carly O'Regan, thank you for that kind introduction. I'm here today to talk to you about our flagship project, the Goshen Project. Just skip through those disclaimers. So the Goshen Project is an integrated rare earth and mineral sands project. We're located in northwest Victoria. We're about 3.5 hours drive from Melbourne. We're located in between Swan Hill and Kerrang, and we're really fortunate to have a train line that runs from the Ultima Intermodal down to the Port of Melbourne, where our products will be shipped from. Now, as you're all aware, there's a multitude of critical minerals projects now. What really differentiates the Goshen Project from all the others that are coming online is the fact that the Goshen Project is a near-term producer. We've refreshed our DFS in 2023 of this year, March 2023 this year. We then subsequently appointed Mineral Technologies as our detailed design engineer. They're now at 30% completion, so they're well on track to meeting their targets. We've also just recently announced the completion of our Hydromat pilot scale test work that was done at Ansto. So we had exceptional recoveries from that test work, and we now have a mixed rare earth carbonate product to provide to our strategic offtake partners to then finalise offtake. So as I said, we're extremely advanced. We're marching towards FID later this year, early Q1 next year. Now, the fortunate thing about this project is we're a multiple commodity stream. So we have the rare earth products. We'll be producing a rare earth mineral concentrate, a mixed rare earth carbonate, and a zircon titania heavy mineral concentrate. Now, the zircon titania heavy mineral concentrate actually pays for about 50% of the operating costs of the rare earths. So we have a significantly lower OPEX than other projects. We have scale. Now, I'll talk to you about that on the next slide. But this project, we have over 820 million tonnes of mineral resource estimate. We have a 200 million tonne JORC compliant ore reserve. And we have nearly 600,000 tonnes of total rare earth oxide. We've got compelling economics, and I'll touch on those a little bit later in the slide deck, but just at a very high level, our NPV is 1.5 billion. We have an internal rate of return of 44% and a very rapid payback of 2.8 years. We have strong government support. In 2021, we were awarded major project status by the federal government. We also have strong local government support as well. We've got 2 MOUs, one with the Gunnewarra Shire and one with the Swan Hill Shire. Now, that helps significantly our approvals process. We have offtake for our first stage product. That's with Shenghe, and that's for about 60% of our production. And that's also for the zircon titania HMC as well. And as I said, FID is expected in the later half of this year, looking likely Q4 or early Q1 next year. Now, if we just look at the scale of what we have here, this is a critical minerals province. We're not just talking about one project, we're talking about a province. We have scale on this project. We have between 2 and 4 billion tonnes. We have a mineral resource estimate of 820 million tonnes. Our company ore reserve, JORC compliant, 199 million tonnes. The Goshen Project, that's sitting at 99 million tonnes. Now, the reason why there's a differentiation there is because we've actually constrained the Goshen Project to the land that we have land purchase agreements on. That significantly de-risks our project. Now, we have the Canny Project. This has just recently been announced. We have a 192 mineral resource estimate there. That's an additional project. And we've got upcoming news flow on the Nowie project. So this scale is huge. We're looking at a critical minerals province. Now, if we just touch quickly on our DFS economics, as I mentioned, it was released in March of 2023 this year. And as I said, it's only on half of the ore reserve. So it's a 20-year life of mine. It's a 5 million tonne per annum throughput. This is low technical risk. It's a truck shovel. We're digging it out of the ground. The commodity's already fully liberated in sand, so there's no drilling and blasting required. We'll be producing about 9.5 ktpa of REMC and about 8.5 ktpa of mixed rare earth carbonate and nearly 135 ktpa of the heavy mineral concentrate. So a few key points there in that table. MPV 1.5 billion, internal rate of return is 44%. Our revenues are about 560 million. Our EBITDA is 291 million. So we anticipate being able to use the cash flow after our payback period's done to then scale up. You've seen the size of this project. We'll be utilising our own funds to continue developing this project. Now, CapEx. So here you'll see our CapEx is actually amongst the lowest of our peers. So all of our peers here, they've done a DFS or a BFS. So very similar stage of projects. All of them are in Australia, except for Peak. As you probably know, Peak Resources is in Tanzania. So our CapEx is sitting at a third of the cost of ASM and Arafura and about half of the cost of Hastings. Now, the reason for that, as I mentioned, our commodities are already fully liberated in sand. There's no drilling and blasting at the front end. We have a very pure rare earth mineral concentrate product that's sitting at about 61% total rare earth oxide. So that means that we have less reagents, less energy costs. Okay, so we're actually going to be developing this project in a phased development approach. Our first phase, we'll be producing the REMC and the zircon titania HMC. And again, that CapEx is extremely low, about $376 million. This is all in Australian dollars as well. And very quickly thereafter, about 6 months, we'll have our Hydromat facility in production. And that's a very low cost again, $124 million CapEx. If we just very quickly touch on our offtake, we do have a non-binding MOU with Shenghe, and that's only for the first stage, phase 1. And that's a short-term contract, about 3 years, but they do not have preemptive rights to the mixed rare earth carbonate, which is likely to come on 6 months after first production. Now, that mixed rare earth carbonate, we will be looking at Western offtake partners. We're already in negotiations with partners in North America, Europe, and Japan. So watch out for further news flow there. Now, this is just a very high-level overview of our near-term production. We're looking at being in production in 2 years. This is subject to approvals. I'll touch on that very shortly. However, we're looking to be in production in half 1 2025. So again, near-term producer. So if I just touch on our Hydromat, as I said, we've just recently finished our pilot scale test work. We had exceptional recoveries for our NdPr. So we had 97% recoveries. We had 92 and 94% respectively for our DyTb. So we've got the 4 critical rare earths that are required for the permanent magnets. Now, we have less than 3% impurities in our product, and we've now got samples for offtake with our Western partners. So these images here, these are actually of our the images there are actually of our mixed rare earth carbonate, and we'll shortly be sending that for offtake. Now, I get asked this question all the time about approvals. How are your approvals going in Victoria? I can confidently say our approvals are going well. We've just completed adequacy, and our EES documentation is in with the Planning Minister. So we're looking likely to have a date to exhibit in the next 4 to 6 weeks. After that, we'll go to panel, and we're looking likely to get our approvals in the later half of this year, late Q4 or early Q1, depending on annual leave of the Planning Minister. So there's some key differentiators of our project. We have no native title, we have access to water, and we have an extremely strong social licence to operate. And I think my time is almost up. I might just quickly, if I can, just jump to our upcoming milestones. So detailed engineering will be completed this year. Our approvals process underway should likely be complete at the end of this year, early next year. And then we'll be going to final investment decision once we have those approvals. So thank you for your time. If you've got any questions, we're up at D04. Thank you.